The clock on my phone read 11:23 p.m. I had sent Evelyn 4 messages. No response. It wasn't like her to ignore me. She always replied, even if it was just a quick busy or a thumbs-up emoji. But tonight? Nothing. I tried calling. It rang twice before going to voicemail. A strange sensation crept over me, a mixture of unease and something darker, something I didn't want to name just yet. I stared at the screen, debating what to do. She had said she was going out for dinner with Lisa, her best friend. They did this every now and then, a girls' night at some trendy restaurant, catching up over cocktails and overpriced appetizers. But Lisa had always been chatty, the kind to flood social media with stories and pictures of their outings. I opened Instagram, scrolling quickly. Nothing. No check-ins. No blurry photos of margaritas. No boomerangs of Evelyn laughing over some inside joke. Something was wrong. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. The drive felt longer than usual, every red light stretching time painfully. My fingers tapped against the steering wheel as I replayed our last conversation in my head. "Love you," she had said before leaving. "Don't wait up." But I had. And she hadn't come home. My stomach twisted. I didn't want to be that husband, the paranoid, overprotective type. Evelyn deserved trust, and for the past 7 years, she had never given me a reason to doubt her. Until now. I pulled up outside the restaurant where she and Lisa were supposed to be. The neon sign flickered in the night, casting a faint glow over the half-empty parking lot. I stepped out of the car, the night air cool against my skin. Inside, the restaurant was still lively, small groups of people chatting, the occasional burst of laughter cutting through the hum of conversation. I scanned the crowd. No sign of Evelyn. No Lisa either. I spotted a waitress balancing a tray of drinks and caught her attention. "Excuse me," I said, forcing a polite smile. "I'm looking for my wife." "Evelyn? She was supposed to be here with Lisa." The waitress frowned, shaking her head. "I've been here all night. No reservation under that name." "Sorry." A cold weight settled in my chest. I stepped outside and pulled out my phone again, dialing Lisa's number this time. She picked up on the second ring. "Hey Ryan," she greeted cheerfully. "What's up?" I hesitated. "Is Evelyn with you?" A pause. "What? No. Why would she be?" The cold weight turned to ice. "She told me she was meeting you for dinner." Lisa's voice dropped. "Ryan, I haven't seen Evelyn in weeks." My grip tightened around the phone. "Are you sure?" "Positive." A beat of silence. Then, more hesitantly, "Ryan, is everything okay?" I swallowed hard. Yeah, everything's fine." But it wasn't. I ended the call and stared at the darkened street ahead. She had lied. And now I needed to know why. I drove without thinking, instincts guiding me as my mind raced. There weren't many places Evelyn could be this late. She wasn't the type to go clubbing or wander the city alone. So if she wasn't with Lisa, she was with someone else. I hated the thought, hated the way it twisted inside me, poisoning every memory I had of her laughter, her touch, the way she had looked at me just that morning like nothing was wrong. Had it all been a lie? A sudden vibration in my pocket snapped me from my thoughts. A text. "Evelyn, hey, sorry. Phone died. I'm on my way home now." I stared at the screen. She was lying. And now I had proof. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. If she thought she could hide this from me, she was wrong. I was going to find out the truth, no matter how much it hurt. I didn't go home. Instead, I followed my instincts. Evelyn's text was a carefully constructed lie. If she had truly been out with Lisa, she wouldn't have gone radio silent. And if her phone had actually died, why hadn't she called me from Lisa's? No. She was covering her tracks. I needed to know the truth. I pulled into a gas station, my hands gripping the wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. My mind replayed the last 7 years, scanning for any missed warning signs. Was this the first time? Had there been others? I didn't want to believe it. But doubt had already sunk its claws deep into me. I pulled out my phone and opened the tracking app we had installed years ago. At the time, it had been for safety, nothing more than a precaution for emergencies. Now, it was my only way to find out where she really was. Her location flickered onto the screen. She was across town, not on her way home. My heart pounded as I zoomed in. A hotel. Not just any hotel. A sleek, upscale one that catered to business travelers and affairs. A sickness churned in my gut. I didn't want to see it. Didn't want to believe that my wife, the woman I had loved and trusted, was betraying me like this. But I couldn't look away. My fingers clenched around the phone as I pulled back onto the road. I had to see it for myself. The hotel loomed ahead, its grand entrance glowing with golden light. Couples and lone travelers moved through the glass doors, their laughter and conversation muffled by the hum of the city. I parked across the street, my heart hammering as I watched. Minutes passed. Then, movement near the entrance caught my eye. Evelyn. She stepped through the doors, her hair slightly tousled, her dress hugging her curves in a way that made my chest tighten. She looked radiant, glowing under the streetlights. Not like someone who had spent the evening with a friend. Like someone who had just been touched. Bow rose in my throat as I watched her pull out her phone. She wasn't looking for me. She was saying goodbye to him. And then, as if the universe wanted to shatter me completely, I saw him. A tall man, broad shoulders, sharp jawline, confident in a way that twisted the knife deeper. He stepped out behind her, watching as she walked toward the parking lot. I didn't recognize him. But I didn't need to. I knew exactly who he was. The other man. The one who had taken what was mine. A violent storm brewed inside me, but I forced myself to stay still. This wasn't the time for a scene. This was the time for proof. I lifted my phone, snapping a picture just as Evelyn unlocked her car. The man lingered near the entrance, his hands in his pockets, watching her leave like a predator satisfied after the hunt. My stomach twisted. How long had this been going on? Weeks? Months? Had every girls' night been a lie? Every business trip? Every time she turned away in bed, claiming she was tired? Rage and heartbreak battled inside me, but I swallowed them both down. I had my answer. Now I needed a plan. Evelyn thought she had me fooled. She had no idea what was coming. I didn't drive home. Not yet. Instead, I sat in my car across from the hotel, the glow of streetlights flickering against my windshield. My pulse hammered in my ears, a relentless, furious drumbeat. The image of Evelyn stepping out of that hotel, her skin still humming from another man's touch, played over and over in my mind like a cruel joke. I should have confronted her right there. Should have walked up, grabbed her by the wrist, and demanded the truth. But I didn't. Because I already knew the truth. Instead, I exhaled slowly, forcing my rage into something sharper. Controlled. If Evelyn thought she could deceive me, walk into our home and pretend nothing had happened, she was about to learn just how wrong she was. My fingers tightened around my phone. One call. That's all it took to destroy a life. And tonight, I was ready to destroy hers. By the time I arrived home, Evelyn's car was already in the driveway. The house was dark except for the faint glow from the living room window. I stepped inside, my movements slow, deliberate. She was on the couch, scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened. Like she wasn't a liar. Like she wasn't a cheat. She looked up as I walked in, her lips curving into a soft smile. "Hey baby. You're up late." I stood there, staring at her. That same mouth had kissed me just this morning. Had whispered, "I love you," against my skin. And tonight it had kissed him. I clenched my jaw, shoving down the fury curling in my gut. Yeah. Couldn't sleep. She stretched, pretending to yawn. Of me neither. Lisa and I had a crazy night. Non-stop talking. My fists curled at my sides. She was good. So damn good at lying. "Oh yeah?" I asked, tilting my head. "How's Lisa?" Evelyn grinned. "She's great. We had margaritas and talked about." I laughed. Loud, abrupt. It startled her. "What's funny?" she asked, her brows knitting together. I stepped closer, letting my voice drop. Lisa hasn't seen you in weeks. Her expression faltered. What? I pulled my phone from my pocket and held up the screen. I called her. She had no idea you were supposed to be with her tonight. The color drained from her face. For the first time in our marriage, I saw it, fear. A small, shaky laugh escaped her lips. Babe, that's crazy. Maybe she was confused, or… I didn't let her finish. Instead, I swiped to the next screen. The picture of her standing outside the hotel. The one I had taken just an hour ago. The one that shattered every lie she could possibly conjure. She inhaled sharply. Ryan, don't, I cut her off, my voice like ice. Don't you dare insult me with another lie. She blinked rapidly, her fingers clutching the couch cushion like she needed something to hold on to. It's not what it looks like. A bitter laugh tore from my throat. Oh? So you weren't at that hotel? With some guy? She swallowed hard, her eyes darting toward the door, like she was considering running. I stepped forward, closing the space between us. Who is he? She hesitated. Too long. I took another step. Who is he, Evelyn? Her lips parted, then closed. I could see the war raging in her mind. Deny it? Lie again? Or tell the truth and risk everything? Her shoulders slumped. A single tear slipped down her cheek. His name is Damien, she whispered. The name landed like a knife in my chest. Damien. Not a stranger. Not a random man from a bar. Damien Carter. My old friend. My best man at our wedding. The betrayal cut deeper than I thought possible. My hands trembled, but I forced myself to stay composed. How long? Evelyn flinched. Ryan. How long? Her breath hitched. 3 months. 3 months. 90 days of stolen moments. Of whispered conversations. Of my wife slipping into another man's arms while I worked late, clueless. I felt something inside me snap. This wasn't just a mistake. This was calculated. She had chosen to lie. To betray me. To smile in my face while she slept with someone I once called a friend. Evelyn reached for me, but I stepped back. Ryan, I still love you. The words were hollow. Dead. You don't cheat on someone you love, I said coldly. Her face crumbled. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I laughed, but it was empty. How was it supposed to happen, Evelyn? You screw him behind my back forever? Or were you planning to leave me eventually? She hesitated. And in that hesitation, I got my answer. She had considered it. The thought of walking away from our marriage had crossed her mind at least once. I exhaled slowly, nodding. Okay. Evelyn's brow furrowed. Okay. I grabbed my phone and pulled up Damien's number. Then, with her watching, I hit call. Her eyes went wide. Ryan, wait. Too late. The line rang. Then, hello? Damien's voice came through the speaker, casual, unaware. I stared straight into Evelyn's panicked eyes as I spoke. I know. A beat of silence. Then a sharp inhale from Damien. Ryan. I hung up. Evelyn's chest rose and fell rapidly, her hands shaking. What did you just do? I smiled. For the first time since discovering the truth, I smiled. Now, I said, tilting my head. Now we watch everything fall apart. Because I wasn't going to let this go quietly. No. I was going to burn it all to the ground. Evelyn's breath hitched, her fingers twisting the hem of her sweater. Ryan, please. I raised a hand, silencing her. You made your choice. Now live with it. A sharp knock sounded at the door. Evelyn flinched. Showtime. I walked over and pulled it open. Damien stood there, his jaw clenched, hands shoved into his jacket pockets. His gaze flickered to Evelyn before locking onto mine. Ryan, man, listen. I swung. My fist collided with his jaw, a sickening crack echoing through the hallway. Damien stumbled back, crashing against the porch railing. Evelyn gasped. Ryan, stop. Damien groaned, pressing a hand to his mouth. Blood stained his knuckles. Shit, he muttered. I deserve that. You deserve a hell of a lot more, I growled, stepping closer. He didn't deny it. Didn't beg. He just stood there, letting the weight of his betrayal settle between us. Evelyn rushed forward, placing herself between us. This isn't helping. I glared at her. Are you protecting him now? Tears streamed down her face. I don't know what to do. I laughed. A bitter, hollow sound. That's rich, Evelyn. You had plenty of time to figure out what to do, 3 months, in fact. Damien sighed. Ryan, Shut up. His mouth snapped closed. I turned back to Evelyn. Tell me, was it worth it? She flinched. You threw away our marriage, I continued, voice shaking. For what? A few stolen nights with him. Her lower lip trembled. But I wasn't finished. You lied to my face. Every night you came home and kissed me like nothing was wrong. Like I was a fool. She squeezed her eyes shut. I never meant to hurt you. Bullshit. Damien shifted uncomfortably. Ryan, I know this doesn't fix anything, but I'm sorry. I stared at him. The man I once trusted. Sorry doesn't mean a damn thing, I said coldly. He nodded. I know. Evelyn wiped at her tears. Can we talk? Figure this out. I exhaled sharply. Then, I pulled out my phone and tapped the screen. The email popped up. I turned it toward her. I already did. Her eyes scanned the screen, widening with horror. Ryan, no. I filed for divorce. The words were final. Absolute. Her knees buckled and she grabbed onto the doorframe. Please, she whispered. Let's talk before making it official. There's nothing to talk about. She turned to Damien, her voice desperate. Say something. He didn't. Because he knew. Knew this was the end. I stepped back into the house, gripping the doorknob. Goodbye, Evelyn. Then I slammed the door. And just like that, my marriage was over. 1 year later, I watched the ocean waves crash against the shore, the salty breeze tugging at my hair. It had taken time. Time to heal. Time to rebuild. Time to forget the taste of betrayal. Evelyn had fought the divorce at first. Pleaded. Begged. But in the end, she signed the papers. She and Damien didn't last. I heard through mutual friends that their love crumbled under guilt and regret. Evelyn tried reaching out once. Left a voicemail. I never called back. I wasn't that man anymore. I turned, glancing at the woman beside me. Sophia. She smiled, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Lost in thought. I grinned. Just thinking about how lucky I am. Her fingers brushed mine. Me too. For the first time in years, I was free. And it felt damn good.